Good morning to one and all. Now we are going to talk about the tragedy of Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark by Shakespeare. Before going to see the presentation, let's have a overview. I mean to say the overall summary about this tragedy of Hamlet by Shakespeare. Let's see. On a dark winter night, a ghost walks the ramparts on Elsinore Castle in Denmark, discovered first by a pair of watchmen, then by the scholar Horatio. The ghost resembles the recently deceased the King Hamlet, whose brother Claudius has inherited the throne and married the king's widow, Queen Gertrude. When Horatio and the watchmen bring Prince Hamlet, the son of Gertrude, and the dead king to see the ghost, it speaks to him, declaring the ominously that it is indeed his father's spirit, and that he was murdered by none other than Claudius, ordering Hamlet to seek revenge on the man who usurped his throne and married his wife. The ghost disappears with the dawn. Prince Hamlet devotes himself to avenging his father's death, but because he is contemplative and thoughtful by nature, he delays entering into a deep melancholy and even apparent madness. Gladius and Gertrude worry about the prince's erratic behavior and attempt to discover its cause. They employ a pair of Hamlet's friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to watch him. When Polonius, the pompous Lord Chamberlain, suggests that Hamlet may be mad with love for his daughter, Ophelia, Gladius agrees to spy on Hamlet in conversation with the girl. But though Hamlet certainly seems mad, he does not seem to love Ophelia. He orders her to enter a nunnery and declares that he wishes to ban marriage. A group of traveling actors comes to Elsinore, and Hamlet seizes upon an idea to test his uncle's guilt. He will have the players perform a scene closely resembling and sequence by which Hamlet imagined his uncle to have murdered his father, so that if Gladius is guilty, he will surely react. When the moment of the murder arrives in the theatre, Gladius leaps up and leaves the room. Hamlet and Horatio agree that this proves his guilt. Hamlet goes to kill Claudius, but finds him praying. Since he believes that killing Gladius while in prayer would send Gladius' soul to heaven, Hamlet considered that it would be an inadequate revenge and decided to wait. Gladius, now frightened of Hamlet's madness and fearing for his own safety, orders that Hamlet be sent to England at once. Hamlet goes to confront his mother, in whose bedchamber Polonius has hidden behind a tapestry. Hearing a noise from behind the tapestry, Hamlet believes the king is hiding. The king is hiding there. He draws his sword and stabs through the fabric, killing Polonius for this crime, he is immediately dispatched to England with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. However, Claudius' plan for Hamlet includes more than banishment, as he has given Rosencrantz and Guildenstern shield orders for the King of England, demanding that Hamlet be put to death. In the aftermath of her father's death, Ophelia goes mad with grief and drowns in the river. Polonius' son Latus, who has been staying in France, returns to Denmark in a rage. Claudius convinces him that Hamlet is to blame for his father's and sister's death. When Horatio and the king receive a letter from Hamlet indicating that the prince has returned to Denmark after pirates attacked his ship and wrote to England. Gladius concocts a plan to use Latus' desire for revenge to secure Hamlet's death. Latus will fence with Hamlet in innocent spot, but Gladius will poison Latus' blade so that if he draws the blood, Hamlet will die. As a backup plan, the king decides to poison a goblet which he will give Hamlet to drink should Hamlet score the first or second hits of the match. Hamlet returns to the vicinity of Elsinore just as Ophelia's funeral is taking place. Stricken with grief, he attacks Latus and declares that he had in fact always loved Ophelia. But at the castle, he tells Horatio that he believes one must be prepared to die, since death can come at any moment. A foolish courtier named Osric arrives on Claudius' order to arrange the fencing match between the Hamlet and Latus. The sword fighting begins. Hamlet scores the first hit, but declines to drink from the king's proffered goblet. Instead, Jetu takes a drink from it and is swiftly killed by the poison. Latter succeeds in wounding Hamlet, though Hamlet does not die of the poison immediately. First, Latus is cut by his own sword's blade, and after revealing to Hamlet that Gladius is responsible for the queen's death, he dies from the blade's poison. Hamlet stabs Gladius through with the poisoned sword and forces him to drink down the rest of the poisoned wine. Then after, Gladius dies, and Hamlet dies immediately after achieving his revenge. After completing the revenge, the Hamlet dies. At this moment, the Norwegian prince named Fortinbras, who has led army to Denmark and attacked Poland earlier in the play, enters with ambassador from England, who report that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Fortinbras is stunned by the gruesome sight of the entire royal family lying sprawled, lying sprawled on the floor dead. He moves to take power of the kingdom. Horatio, fulfilling Hamlet's last request, tells him Hamlet's tragic story. Fortinbras orders that Hamlet be carried away in a manner befitting fallen soldier. Let's see the publication of this tragedy. Written during the first part of the 17th century, Hamlet was probably first performed in July. It was first published in printed form in 1603 and appeared in an enlarged edition in 1604. Let's see the genre. Revenge, and tragedy. Setting: Denmark during the late Middle Ages. Though characters in the play occasionally reference things or events from the Elizabethan age. Historical relevance. Story of Hamlet based on a Danish revenge story from the 1100. Shakespeare modified to fill with dread and uncertainty. Product of Reformation. Hamlet has constant anxiety about appearance versus reality, concern with religion, related to the Reformation. Characters: Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark. Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, the title character and the protagonist, about 30 years old. At the start of the play, Hamlet is son of Queen Gertrude and the late King Hamlet, and the nephew of the present King Claudius. The Hamlet, the Prince of the Denmark, the title character and the protagonist of the tragedy, and son of the King Hamlet. Hamlet continued. Hamlet is melancholic, bitter, and cynical, full of hatred for his uncle's scheming and disgust for his mother's sexuality. A reflective and thoughtful young man who has studied at the University of Edinburgh. Hamlet is sometimes indecisive and hesitant, but at other times prone to rash and impulsive act. Claudius. The king of Denmark. Hamlet is uncle and the play's antagonist. The villain of the play. The Claudius is the villain of the play. Claudius is a calculating, ambitious politician, driven by his sexual appetite and his lust for power, but he occasionally shows signs of guilt and human feelings. His love for Gertrude, for instance, seems sincere. Gertrude, the Gertrude, the Queen of Denmark. The Hamlet's mother, recently married to Claudius. Gertrude loves Hamlet deeply, but she's shallow. She's a shallow, weak woman who seeks affection and status more urgently than moral rectitude or truth. Polonius. This is one of the character Polonius, the Lord Chamberlain of Claudius' court, a pompous, conniving old man. Polonius is a father of Latus and Ophelia. Horatio. Hamlet's close friend, who studied with the prince at the university in Wittenberg. Horatio is loyal and helpful to Hamlet throughout the play. After Hamlet's death, Horatio remains alive to tell Hamlet's story. Ophelia. Ophelia, Polonius' daughter, a beautiful young woman with whom Hamlet has been in love. Ophelia is a sweet, innocent young girl who obeys her father and her brother's letters. Polonius' son and Ophelia's brother, young man who spends much of the play in France, passionate and quick to action. Latus is clearly a foil for the reflective Hamlet. Fortinbras. Fortinbras, the young prince of Norway, whose father, the king, also named Fortinbras, was killed by Hamlet's father, also named Hamlet. Now Fortinbras wishes to attack Denmark to avenge his father's honor, making him another foil for Prince Hamlet. The ghost. The spectre of Hamlet's recently deceased father. The ghost who claimed to have been murdered by Claudius calls upon Hamlet to avenge him. The ghost continued, "It's not entirely certain whether the ghost is what it appears to be or whether it is something else. Hamlet speculates that the ghost might be devil sent to him, deceiving him and tempt him into murder. And the question of what the ghost is or where it comes from is never definitively definitively resolved. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Two slightly bumbling courtiers, former friends of Hamlet from Edinburgh, who are summoned by Gladius and Getu to discover the cause of Hamlet's strange behavior. So the themes of this play. Themes are the fundamental and often universal ideas explored in literary work. Appearance versus reality. Appearance does not match reality often. Hamlet struggles to determine who his true friends are. Gladius appears to be a true and just king and Gertrude his witch's queen. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern appears to be true friends. Sanity and versus insanity. In many ways, this theme is intertwined with the theme of appearance and versus reality. Appearance versus reality. Hamlet's sanity or insanity has baffled critics for years. Even the characters in the play discuss inconsistencies in Hamlet's behavior, sometimes assuming he is really insane, at other times amazed by his clarity of thought. Theme of certainty. What separates Hamlet from other revenge plays, and maybe from every play written before it, is that the action we expect to see, particularly from Hamlet himself, is continually postponed, while Hamlet tries to obtain more certain knowledge about what he is doing. This play poses many questions that other plays would simply take for granted. Theme of uncertainty. Many people have seen Hamlet as a play about indecisiveness, and thus about Hamlet's failure to act appropriately. It might be more interesting to consider that the play shows us how many uncertainties our lives are built upon, how many unknown quantities are taken for granted when people act or when they evaluate one another's action. Theme of action versus inaction. Action versus inaction. Directly related to the themes of certainty and uncertainty is the theme of action. How it is possible to take reasonable, effective, purposeful action. Is it possible to act without taking action? Death. In the aftermath of his father's murder, Hamlet is obsessed. Hamlet is obsessed with the idea of death, and over the course of the play, he considered death from a great many perspectives. Decay and corruption. Among the most powerful images of the play are those which reveal disintegrating situations, both in personal terms for Prince Hamlet, and in political terms for Denmark. Revenge. Since death is both the cause and the consequence of revenge, it is intimately tied to the theme of revenge and justice. Gladius' murders of King Hamlet initiate Hamlet's quest for revenge, and Gladius' death is the end of the quest. End of that quest. Thank you.